Hi everyone, my name is Charlie Beveridge and I'm a strategy and consulting senior manager at Accenture, which means I get to work with clients on some of the newest and most disruptive technologies out there. And graph databases are one of the technologies I'm seeing drive the greatest progress. I'm here today to talk about something called entity resolution, which, as hopefully I'll explain, is an incredibly important thing for a business to get right. And it's something graph databases are particularly good at. So first I'll cover what entity resolution actually is, and we'll see that it essentially enables what we call a golden thread. We'll look at why it's so hard to do, how a graph does it so well, and then what is possible to achieve as a business once you've cracked it. Let's first look at the traditional way of doing things, because that's where most companies are today. Most modern databases are made up of table after table of data, stored logically, accessible rapidly, scalable infinitely. The latest wave of cloud-based data lakes have a very compelling proposition: experience no limits and only pay for what you use. So they've been incredibly successful, and rightly so. But the key part is that these technologies are designed to store data points and not data relationships. And when it comes to entity resolution, we need to use data that is joined together into relationships, because we're trying to understand how to relate clues from all over the business into an overall golden thread for a particular entity, like, for example, a thread for that same customer who isn't paying their bill on time. It's not about finding a simple ID match from one table to another and to the next. It's about looking at directly and indirectly connected chains of information holistically. Information which could be stored across a huge number of tables in many different formats, and determining whether altogether it's good enough to come to a conclusion or not, that this customer or entity is the same. And it's exactly that process of connecting and grouping identifiers that makes graphs so powerful for entity resolution. The key takeaway is, graph's real power comes in when you need to make use of multiple layers of data attributes to understand connections indirectly in order to come to your conclusion. And you can imagine that the more connected context you have in your graph, the better the decisions you can make. This is a real graph, and it's no simpler, but it's clear that the complexity of the network that a graph can map is exactly what makes it so powerful. And another very important aspect of graph is its power in running entity resolution on two or more different entity types at the same time, which is pretty useful given that there are more than one entity types in many complex golden thread scenarios, and almost all B2B scenarios.